is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Guys, please don't forget to show support. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill, because we're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. I actually noticed something funny yesterday. About 58% of you that watch this channel are not subscribed. Guys, goes a long way, helps me out, helps me make more videos, helps me make better content. I got a lot of great ideas this offseason that I'm going to do. So if you can click the subscribe button, it really goes a long way. Don't forget to like also, really helps me out. Now, please join me as we go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Guys, season's over for the Miami Heat. Really bleak times right now. It was a very mediocre, embarrassing season the way that it ended. But there is a silver lining. The season from hell is over. The Jimmy Butler drama, the losing streaks, the inconsistent plays, it's all over. It's time to go back to the drawing board, make some changes, and figure this team out. If there's one thing that every Miami Heat fan can agree on, is that this roster needs changes. Whether it's retooling to get better or just doing a complete rebuild. Kind of like the Utah Jazz did a few years ago when they traded Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. So it's really depending on how you look at it, but it's also really going to be depending, you guys, on what falls on the Miami Heat's lap. The Miami Heat are going to be players this offseason, but there's going to be a lot of other teams that are going to have more flexibility than they have. There's one team that I'm looking at that's going to be huge players this offseason, the Houston Rockets. They're the second seed in the Western Conference, but their inability to win, their inability of experience is showing in their matchup against the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are currently up 3-1. One of those losses were when Jimmy Butler wasn't even playing. So Houston needs a retool. They need more experience on this team. And the fact that they have cap flexibility and they have multiple draft assets, they're going to be the darlings of this offseason, unless OKC wants to get in on it as well. OKC, the best team in the NBA, has the same amount of flexibility that Houston does. So maybe the Miami Heat needs to go that route. Maybe they need to look at a team like Houston and OKC and think, we need to do what they did. We need to let go of our superstar or our all-stars, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, get as much draft capital as possible, rebuilding this team through the draft and seeing where you can go from there. Maybe a big trade. But if there's one thing we know about this Miami Heat team, which is currently led by Pat Riley, that's not what's going to happen. Pat Riley's 80 years old. Pat Riley has been on a mission to get one more championship ring before he retires since 2014. Pat wants that title. And until he gets it, I don't think he's going to retire. I don't think he's going to step down. I posted a video yesterday about Pat possibly stepping down. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I think Pat Riley is going to try again, especially with what happened with Jimmy Butler. I don't think Pat Riley wants to cement his legacy that way. So what do you do from here on out? Well, the Miami Heat are going to have some flexibility this offseason. Now, the trade for Jimmy Butler did bite us in the ass because look what Jimmy's doing with Golden State. But one reason it didn't bite us in the ass and one reason that it was good not to give Jimmy Butler that extension is simply because of the cap flexibility that we're going to have. Giving Jimmy Butler that flexibility would have put us in a hole for another 2 years. And we could not upgrade this roster. We couldn't make any changes. And this run it back mentality would have continued to gone. And there's one thing the Heat fans were pissed about was the whole run it back mentality. So, without Jimmy Butler, the Miami Heat find themselves in certain predicaments. Right now, they're going to have a salary cap amount of about $154 million after contracts get shed off their books for free agency. So they'll have $154 million paying out to players currently on the roster. They will have 13 players rostered. So they're not going to have any salary cap space, but they will be $18 million under the first apron line and $30 million under the second apron line because those numbers are going up this offseason. What that means is that the Miami Heat are going to have a few exceptions. They're going to have a $14.1 million mid-level exception. That's going to be big. That's going to be big because you can actually get a quality player, maybe two quality players. You'll also have a $5.1 million biannual exception. That is if you don't go over the first apron. You're also going to have a few trade exceptions. The main one is the Jimmy Butler trade exception, which is worth about $16 million, which you can add in a potential trade. So the Heat are going to have flexibility. Now, there's a couple of players that I want to talk about, and this is going to the other direction. If the Miami Heat are trying to retool and build for this current roster, there's three players that I want to talk about, you guys. And the reason why I'm bringing up these three players is simply because these three guys will most likely be available in the market this offseason because of what we've seen this season. Ja Morant, Kevin Durant, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, I'm bringing up these three names, you guys, because the teams have had bad seasons, and these three players have been rumored to be on the move. Now, one of these players I don't think is a good fit with the Heat. Another one of these players is the dream fit. But another one of these guys is the one that I feel is actually going to happen. Let's start with the first one, Ja Morant. And I'm starting with Ja Morant, you guys, because in all honesty, this is the one that I don't think is a good fit. This is the one that I won't think will happen. But let's talk about it. Ja Morant this season had a down year. Averaged about 23.2 points a game, 7.3 assists, 45% from the field, 30% from the three-point line, 82% from the field. Only played 50 games. Got injured a lot. We know Ja Morant's deal. This dude has not been able to play more than 65 games since his rookie season. He's plagued with injury every year. He's had about 8 injuries this season. Let's not forget the whole situation with the shooting and showing guns on Instagram, and then he gets fined for that. So instead of acting right, he starts throwing fake grenades. Like, this dude is a head case. You put that dude in South Florida, it's gonna get worse. Dude's in Memphis right now. If you put him in South Florida with that mindset, with his dad, not gonna work. And then what you would have to give up to get him. You're probably gonna have to give up a package of Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, multiple first-round draft picks, maybe an expiring contract, maybe like a Kyle Anderson or something like that. I don't think it's worth it. I'd prefer Tyler Hero over Ja Morant. So we're gonna close the book there. No Ja Morant, I don't think it's a good fit. Now we're going to get to the next two guys. The next player that I'm going to talk about, you guys, I did a recent video about him, but we'll talk about him again. Giannis Antetokounmpo. And the reason why I'm bringing up Giannis again, you guys, is because last night the Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Indiana Pacers. And that was a stinker. Milwaukee had a 20-point lead, so I honestly thought, okay, Milwaukee's going to take Game 5. It'll go back to Milwaukee, it'll go back on for 6. It'll go back to Indiana for 6, and then we'll see what goes on there. But they fell flat on their face. Indiana took it to overtime. Tyrese Halliburton was doing whatever he wanted on the court. And then Indiana went on an 8-0 run to win the series. And you saw that drama with Giannis and Tyrese Halliburton's dad. And you saw the drama with certain players with Giannis out there. Giannis was really bummed out about this loss. And you can see the frustration building in Giannis. And you've seen this frustration since 2023 when the Milwaukee Bucks lost to the Miami Heat in the first round. They fired Coach Budenholzer. They traded for Damian Lillard. None of these changes are working. Giannis has mentioned in the past that if he can't if he can't contend with Milwaukee, he's looking to leave. This was reported by Brian Windhorst and Shams Charania in the middle of the season. So I think Giannis is out the door, especially with Damian Lillard tearing his Achilles. So he's done for a year. He won't be back until the 2027 season. So that means a year of mediocrity for Milwaukee. So look for Giannis to ask out. Now, he's the dream scenario. Because I mentioned this a few days ago. For a guy like Giannis, you're going to have to give up the farm. I would prefer that if you're able to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's to pair him with Bam Adebayo. Giannis and Bam, that's insane. You can move Bam back to the center position. I know people are saying Bam's an undersized center. Yeah, but Bam is one of the best defenders in the NBA. And if you put Giannis next to Bam, Giannis, who's 6'11", 245 pounds, they're both power forward centers. You don't really need Khalil Ware. So that's why I would propose a trade of Tyler Hero, who's from Milwaukee, and if Milwaukee's rebuilding, they'll get a guy who's homegrown. You also get Kel'el Ware, someone that you can build on for the future. Throw in a Jaime Jaquez Jr., throw in 2 to 3 future first-round draft picks, maybe 3, maybe a second-round pick. You got to go all in for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But if you have Giannis with Bam Adebayo, maybe you're able to keep Andrew Wiggins. That'll be your front court. Bring back Davion Mitchell. Get a shooting guard through the draft. Sign somebody with your mid-level exception that can start in the shooting guard position. Or hell, bring Alec Burks back. Let him start. But now you're going to have flexibility. And a team that has a starting lineup with Bam Adebayo, Andrew Wiggins, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'd be interested in seeing that. But like I said, that's the dream scenario. I don't think that's going to happen, guys. As much as I want Giannis here, I don't think it's going to happen simply because there's going to be other suitors. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Houston and OKC might be suitors. And if Giannis becomes available, believe me, Houston and OKC is going to throw their names in the ringer. So the player that I feel, which is the most likely player that the Miami Heat can actually go for, is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant right now, 36 years old, turns 37 in September. He's on the final year of his contract, making $54 million. It's an expiring contract, so it's not a huge risk. He fits very well with this roster. He's played with Bam Adebayo and Team USA. He's actually the player that you can go for where you may not have to give up Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. So that way you can now have a team centered around Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and Kevin Durant. Hopefully you can even keep Kel'el Ware. That's a possibility as well. Kevin Durant is the only player I feel that we can go after in the trade market where we can keep our core 3. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and Kel'el Ware. You give me a starting lineup next season of Kel'el Ware, Bam Adebayo, Kevin Durant, Tyler Hero, and Davion Mitchell. I think that's a starting lineup that can contend in the Eastern Conference. Andrew Wiggins does not fit in this starting lineup. We're seeing it. It just doesn't fit. I haven't seen a player that has not wanted to be more Miami than Andrew Wiggins. He just doesn't fit. He's a great player. Just doesn't fit on this roster. He's had a few good games. I just don't see the fit. And with Kevin Durant, I've mentioned this before, you guys, you can give up a package because a lot of these teams are going to be in the market for bigger players. I think more players are going to be available this offseason that's been in a while. You may even have the Joker available. You may have certain other players become available. Maybe Anthony Edwards becomes available. I doubt it, but like I said, there's going to be multiple players. I don't think it's going to be an offseason where it's just one guy. So if that happens, if Giannis becomes available, if Ja becomes available, all these teams may pivot there. And it may leave Kevin Durant open for the Miami Heat. Where the Miami Heat can offer a package of Andrew Wiggins. Throw in Duncan Robinson, whose contract is not fully guaranteed. That's a beauty for Phoenix because now they have 2 potentially expiring contracts. And they can continue a build. It's not working with the Kevin Durant experience. They became the 11th seed. They're not even getting their draft pick. That goes to Houston. Good Lord, Houston is insane. But this could work for Phoenix because Miami can throw in Jaime Jaquez. You can throw in Andrew Wiggins to fill in that small forward position. You can also throw in either Duncan Robinson or Terry Rozier for cap flexibility and 1 to 2 future first-round draft picks, which Phoenix does not have. I think that can get a deal done. And that's the deal that you can make where you keep Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. So Ja Morant, I don't want that. Giannis Antetokounmpo, hell yeah. Give up the farm for Giannis because it's Giannis, especially if you're able to pair him with Bam Adebayo. If Milwaukee's asking for Bam Adebayo, I'll still do it, but reluctantly. But Kevin Durant, I keep circling back to Kevin Durant, you guys, because the situation just fits. His style of play fits this team. Now, if you add Kevin Durant on this team, defensively, you're going to be hampered with Kevin Durant and Tyler Hero out there defensively. But offensively, we can keep up. Now we can keep up. Now I believe that when we grab leads, we'll be able to hold them because you have Kevin Durant and Tyler Hero out there dominating offensively. This gives Tyler Hero that other guy. So now teams don't just have to clog Tyler Hero and the Heat won't have an answer. It gives you more flexibility offensively. There's nobody on this team besides Tyler Hero that's a bucket getter. Maybe Bam will have his night. Maybe Andrew will have his night. But there's nobody consistently that can do it. So in my opinion, I want Giannis. That's the one I want to go for. But I think Kevin Durant may be the smarter play. Simply because you don't have to give up the farm. So Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Ja Morant. Would you like any of these players on this team? Let me know, what do you think a realistic package will be? This ain't NBA 2K. This is real life. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for the continued support. Please don't forget, I have a family channel, the ValleFamily. I'll leave a link in the description, you guys. If you can please show support, subscribe to that channel. We're trying to build to our first 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.